3-minute kill fest, and you're like, I don't have much to say about it. A logo, fade in, fade out.
2 logos. I think Kyle
All the
understands.
words.
Kyle
All the
understands,
words.
right?
All the excitement.
I honestly, dude, I don't trust the name Lucasfilm right now, so no. And then also Disney and their past with
Oh my god.
Ghibli.
Okay, shut up.
No.
I don't like the fact that you're being so negative to my shit.
Get that going again. All right, guys. Yeah, I think I've got everything set. Whenever you're ready, Jonesy.
That's interesting.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast.
Oh,
the
I'm sorry.
flagship
No, I totally
international
missed.
podcast
Wait, hold it,
of
hold it.
LRM Online.
Okay.
You know what's crazy?
I'm resetting. I'm resetting.
I was looking at one of the stories again, and then one of the side stories was something interesting. I didn't know that somebody had been fired from something. I was like, oh, that's
Who's fired from what?
one of the media folks has been fired from MSNBC, and I was like, she got fired? Huh.
Oh,
That's interesting.
That was
All
just
right.
so funny. Literally, Kyle's just like, okay, and he pointed at you, and you're like, huh, that's interesting.
yeah. Are we ready to do? Are we ready to do it for real?
Listo.
Once more with feeling.
Hello and welcome to Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast, the premier, flagship, and sleepiest podcast of LRM Online and the Genreverse Podcast Network. I'm your host, Brandon Jones, and I'm here with Joseph Jammer Medina and Kyle Malone. Gents, what's going on? I have to do the thing. Push.
Hey, I gotta
Hello.
make sure I am rubbing in the bag preventing lotion underneath the eyes, because
Oh, I
I'm
thought
not-
you were making fun of me.
No, I wasn't making fun of you at all. I was making fun like myself. Like, I had a late bedtime last night because I saw Wakanda Forever late. So, what is that? What is that wrinkling
What kind
nose?
of accents you just throw on that? Wakanda Forever. Like it was from the throat, like you were
Wakanda.
saying Barcelona.
Well, it's because
it was some
I like
sort of
whenever
weird-
I hear the
You
trailer.
sound
it
like
goes,
somebody that went to Wakanda for like a summer internship, and you're like, no, it's Wakanda.
No, I love hearing it
Wakanda.
whenever in the trailer it goes Wakanda Forever. I love it. So fun to say. But no, so I went there late. For me, to keep that in mind. For me, I went to bed probably at 11:30 last night, which is fucking. It's 3 a.m. in dog years for me. So it's crazy late. And I'm still pretty tired. I got bags under my eyes. So I'm not as sleepy as you, but I'm also sleepy. So you're right. Sleepiest podcast to date. I agree.
Sleepiest podcast. Nick Dahl and Danny could not be here today. They wanted to be here to talk Wakanda Forever with us. Danny's on assignment. I'm excited. He is at a Comic-Con, and we're going to probe him when he comes back. It's going to be fun. It's going to be
Ooh.
like, what are your thoughts and feelings? We're going to probe him. That's right.
I like it.
Probe. Get ready, Danny.
It's every
Probe
man's
it.
dream to probe Danny.
Yeah, I think it is. Man, it's going to be exciting. So looking forward to that whenever he comes back. And we're going to chat about that stuff. Nick's at work. I don't want to talk to him about work. That's no fun.
No, that's not. He's just actually
Mm-hmm.
he has a new job. I mean, same place but new job. I need to talk to him about what he's doing. What he's doing there.
Oh, so you're just
What's
curious.
his day-to-day?
You're asking like,
Yeah.
what's going on? Okay.
What's his day to day? What's it like there? What's it like being in the big Zon? The Zon as
He will have an opinion for you that is without basis, despite the fact that he is there all the time.
like my
Spending most of
opinion
his
will
time
somehow be more valid than his when it comes to his work. That was such a fucking. That was so mean. Never mind.
there. I started somewhere. You just took it. You just took that ball and ran with it.
You know what your laugh sounded like? Do you remember Turtles in Time?
Yes.
I think it was Shredder where he goes, huh, 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 huh. Like when he was, I forgot what's happening, but that sound, it just triggered that memory. Anyway,
Triggered a memory. I'm Shredder. I think you only got triggered by Shredder because Danny's been buying toys. He bought like that awesome Shredder.
I bought an
Oh, yeah.
awesome shredder.
did you?
I'm sorry, Kyle.
Jammer, you didn't see my shredder?
I didn't see your
it's
Shredder.
beginning
No.
already.
I didn't. Yeah, I bought a. Well, I don't know if I can add my camera here. I'll show you later, Jammer. Look
Yeah,
on
show me later.
Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on
He posted a
it's on
picture.
Discord. Yeah.
Oh, did he? We're on Discord
I
chat.
did.
In
I
the
did.
It's in
BGRtP
one of the
chat or
things.
somewhere else? Or...
It's somewhere in there.
The main channel, the general chat
General
channel.
chat?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a look. I'll
I also
look there.
found freaking
Oh, look at that.
tree toppers, like a Power Star
Mhm.
Star tree topper, which was pretty cool. So yeah.
I almost bought one of those a few years ago.
There's
Those were
some fun
awesome.
stuff. Oh, look, I got Discord up on the screen for everyone. There's my Super Shredder, my giant Funko Pop Super Shredder, and there's the Power Star and Triforce Tree Toppers. So
Nice.
there you guys go. All right.
Looking good. Well, so before we get started, I do want to say I wanted to throw out a huge congratulations to Kyle. The Genreverse Podcast Network has cracked 1,000 subscribers since our last podcast. So kudos to Kyle
On YouTube.
On YouTube. Yeah. Kudos to
Yay.
Kyle for that amazing milestone. How long has it been since the channel started?
11 months.
11 months?
That's crazy.
We
That's
broke
amazing.
We broke 1,000 in under 11 months, and we had wanted to make it by Christmas. So thank you to all the
Nailed it.
listeners, followers, subscribers, all that helped us get there even faster.
And I've
Nation,
heard that,
the Genreverse.
getting your first 1,000 subscribers, I hear, is harder than your 1
It's like
to
the first million.
100,000 subscribers. It's harder than that, from what I've heard.
Yeah, it's like your
I've
first
heard.
million. Like once you get your first million, your second million is just like
It's just
it's
compounded.
easy.
exponential
Yeah.
growth.
Right.
We have our new goal, gentlemen. It might seem kind of lofty, but I think it's attainable.
No, that's a good goal. I like
10
literally. I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking someday we're gonna see that silver or not
No.
silver, the freaking bronze, whatever color YouTube play behind Kyle.
The first one for
sometime soon.
the 100,000. Well,
Yeah.
Oh
the
yeah.
goal will be 10,000 by the end of next year. So I want 10 times what we got in 1 year.
We're
So
already on our
let's
way.
do it.
Let's do
It's
it.
very
Congrats.
Rick and Morty energy, where Rick is like 10,000 years, Rick and Morty. So BGRtP, Cog, Daily Cog. You got to do the thing. You got to like spit and like.
Every year,
You gotta
10,000
spit,
more.
You gotta stumble.
Yeah.
You gotta stutter.
I can
gotta
stutter.
Overstate everything.
I got the stuttering and I got the overstating done
I got
pretty
some
damn
stutter
well
for you,
too.
baby.
I'm gonna say one last thing before you guys get off
6
to your
podcasts in a movie.
There you go.
BGRtP the movie.
I love it. Happy Veterans Day to all those that have survived to retire, or if you were weak in ETS. No, I'm joking. Seriously, happy Veterans Day
Wow.
to everyone out there that did some time and is enjoying the Fort Couch. Thanks for
So
your guys'
actually,
service.
I have a Veterans Day
Special shout out to
question.
the folks that I retained in the Army during my time as an attorney.
So special. I have a question, a civilian question regarding Veterans Day. You
What's
don't
up?
say that to people who are currently serving, right? Only to people who are done, right? Is that a thing? Is that correct?
Yeah, there's three holidays for military. You've got Armed Forces Day, that's for those still in. You've got your Veterans Day for those that have gotten out, and then you've got Memorial Day for those
Memorial
that
Day.
gave the last full measure.
I've never heard
in
of Armed
combat.
Services Day. I have never heard of Armed Services Day,
It doesn't generally get celebrated outside of the military itself. So,
which is funny because I feel like you should be
Don't forget the
celebrating
Marine Corps
that
birthday.
Marine Corps
just as much as Veterans
free
Day.
crowns for everyone.
Yeah, okay. Y'all with your inside humor. Let's get on
When
with the
people
show.
say happy,
I'm
when
feeling
people say
left
happy
out.
Memorial Day to me, I'm like, hold on, still here, baby.
I'm still here.
Still standing, still strong. Well, Antoine Fisher for you guys. All right, so you got a movie to talk about.
Damn right we do. Wakanda forever. With my semester abroad in Wakanda language. I'm basically Wakandan. I'm not sure if you know that, but I'm an honorary Wakandan.
I
That's what
swear, I
my-
think Nick and
friends-
Danny abandoned us just so I could glare at the Latino guy. Like, what the fuck?
Oh,
This is the
funny.
fight. This is the fight.
No, this is literally we're reenacting Wakanda forever in this.
this is
The
it. This is the
black on
fight.
brown violence is being taken to
I'll be
a whole
Shuri.
new level here.
I'll be Shuri. I'll do the thing. I'll shrink a little bit. I'll get tanky. Yeah, so No Woman, No Cry, except with lots of fucking crying, like all the crying. I don't cry, but people did. I went to see it with people. They cried. We're talking about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. This film has an 85% from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes and an audience score of 95%. So, Queen Ramonda, Shuri, M'Baku, Okoye, and the Dora Milaje fight to protect their nation from intervening world powers in the wake of King T'Challa's death. As the Wakandans strive to embrace their next chapter, the heroes must band together with Nakia and Everett Ross to forge a new path for their beloved kingdom. So, we've got a film to talk about. I already did like a little mini review on the ticks and the talks.
Tiki-taki.
The tiki-taki. Jeremy, you want to go first? Would you like to give your thoughts and feelings?
My thoughts and feelings. Wakanda Forever. I liked it, but did not love it. I think it felt too long, a bit slow, a bit the action scenes didn't impress me that much, and I just felt a bit muted in tone for me, and it wasn't just necessarily the subject matter, but just sort of the feel of it. I thought it was good. I thought it was well made. I thought it had a lot of great parts to it. I loved the arc that it was going for. I loved the acting, like the two leads in this one, Angela Bassett and Letitia Wright, kill it. They knock it out of the park. And they both impressed me immensely. And then I really like what Namor, as he's called, brings to the fold for this one. And there's just a lot that's there. It just doesn't, I feel like it's less than the sum of its parts, unfortunately. Though it is a movie that I also want to see again. And luckily I'm going to have a chance because Kirsten wasn't here. So I'm going to see it with her again because I feel like maybe I'll appreciate it more the second time. But on the whole, I thought it was good, not great. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
What letter grade would you give it?
Right now, I think I'd give it a B. And I think I was thinking about this as I was watching the movie. If I was doing one of those tier lists where you had S and A and B and C and D, I think it would be a high B tier for me.
How does this tier thing work? We're talking about S tier, like the most amazing
tier,
thing.
That's the highest, which for me would be like Endgame, Civil War, maybe Homecoming. I think those are like my top three. Ragnarok.
Really? Homecoming?
I love Homecoming. I revisit that a lot. So
I like parts of Homecoming.
Yeah. But yeah, so this isn't anywhere near that for me. But I liked, like I said, it had a lot of great ingredients, but it just ultimately for me ended up being less than the sum of its parts.
Okay.
What about you?
So I agree with a lot of what you said, though I would rate it higher. This movie reminded me of, I thought a lot about No Time to Die as I watched it, which is weird to say out loud. And as you were talking just now, you talked about how long it was. I remember No Time to Die being long. This movie is 2 minutes shorter than No Time to Die. I remember watching No Time to Die and I'm like, I can feel how long this movie is. And I watched Black Panther and I felt the same way. And at the same time, I thought those thoughts watching both of those films, like, I understand why. Mm-hmm. And in No Time to Die, it's because he had all the time in the world to die, right? 2 hours and 43 minutes. With this movie, they were folding in the real life tragedy of Chadwick Boseman's passing. And so a lot of the slower moments were about that. Like, had that not happened, they probably would have shaved 20 minutes off of this movie. And so I understood why. I agree with you about the standout performances. Angela Bassett, like, fucking picked up this movie, carried it on her well-toned, amazing-looking shoulders.
Oh my God. Hold on. I am sorry. Literally everyone in this movie.
Yeah, I'm going to
stop you. Everyone in this movie fucking ripped. their arms are just like boom. I'm like, ooh, I'm jealous. I want those arms. Sorry, continue. She carried on her
No,
welcome
just
arms.
yeah, she's man. Talk about Angela Bassett for the next hour. But I thought that the performances were particularly strong. Tenoch Huerta was a standout performance for me. Angela Bassett was a standout performance for me. Denai Guerrero was a standout performance for me. I really enjoyed watching all of those folks interact. I thought Letitia Wright was good, but I also thought that her performance was hampered by like I don't want to say spotty writing. I didn't understand some of her motivations. We could
Okay.
talk about that a little bit later. But
Interesting, because
I
I
just
liked
remember
a lot of her
thinking,
motivation. So I'm wondering if I can clear, because I really like, because I know for me coming out of it, everyone's talking about Angela Bassett. I almost know when I feel like it's talking about Letitia Wright, who I thought killed it. So I'm interested to hear about your complaints about maybe her
I thought
motivation.
she did well, and I don't think it was. It's not her. It wasn't her. It was some of her story. I thought that some of it was good, but I also thought that some of it needed a little tightening.
Hmm.
And again, maybe that was just me. Um,
There is a problem, I would say, especially with the first half of this movie, that I'm open to get into whenever you're
yeah,
ready to talk spoiler. It's not really a spoiler. I could just talk about it now. The problem I have is that it seems I really felt Black Panther's or Chadwick Boseman's absence, T'Challa's absence in the first half of this movie. Not because it was all about his passing or anything, but because when watching the original Black Panther, I remember thinking Chadwick Boseman is great, but he's kind of the least interesting part of this movie. Everything else around him just really colors in the world. But it's still focused on him, but he's still kind of the least interesting, even though he had a strong narrative arc. This movie took a long time for it to settle in on its main character, who ultimately is Shuri. And to me, that led to the first
are you
half.
sure?
And she was in the suit,
And she was in the suit.
and
I
the only
know.
suit.
I watched the movie. Anyway. So it finally focused in on her, but it took like 30 to 40 minutes for that to happen. And for a while I thought, is Angela Bassett the main character of this movie? Queen Ramonda, is she the main character? Oh wait, no,
Kinda.
we're kind of lacking focus here and there, and it took a while for it to really hone in to the point where I was like, well, we should have been. I felt like we should have been seeing things more from her perspective, and I think that would have ultimately led to us feeling more connected with the arc, which I think the arc is strong, but I just needed a little bit more substance to it. So maybe I'm not sure if that addresses any of your problems, Jonesy, but you can let me know.
No, I do think that's part of it. And so the letter grade I settled on with this was a B plus. Um, because the other thing is I do think that this is better than the majority of what's been put out in the MCU phase four. And I think
Oh,
that
phase
that is
four.
a
Okay.
phase four problem. That's a little bit of both. The quality of this film, really high. Looked really good, very
Except
well
they had a
acted.
lot of shots where they just were hyper close in and then like really like long lenses, which
Yeah.
was very distracting to me. But anyways, continue.
Um, it's a very high quality generally around the board. And I forgot the thing I was going to say.
Sorry.
And it just, it's better. It was better. And, that feels more like an MCU problem than
Mm.
just the quality of this movie blowing everything out of the water. So that's not good,
So you
I
mean
think,
like the bar
overall.
has been lowered, therefore this feels higher, not because it's
Yeah.
necessarily boom, way
Yeah.
up
It's
there.
smacking me in the face. Just
Mm.
the bar is so low. It's not good. And hopefully they can right the ship. And, we've had conversations about that generally, about the idea that Kevin Feige is kind of distracted doing other things. And there are quotes where he talks about this is a very important movie for us. So for this film, you feel the time and attention that this movie got. And I think that that paid off. Um, so yeah, we can talk about. You want to get into spoilers because I feel like everything else that we want to talk about this film goes too deep in the spoilers.
How did you like the
Action.
no, not the action. Not more. And the God, what are they called? What is the nation called?
Talokan.
Talokan?
I don't
Talokan.
Talokan, yeah, that's it.
Telecon.
How did you like Talokan and Namor and how that was all weaved into it?
So he, like I said, he was one of the standout performances for me. I thought that he was a great villain. He was a great antagonist. Generally, the MCU struggles with this kind of character, and in Namor, they made someone who was charming and threatening and charismatic. All of the things that you want your villain to be, almost like Killmonger, which was almost a problem in this movie because it felt like a very similar narrative to the first movie, where you're like, Killmonger is not wrong, and you're like, is Namor wrong? I don't know. And like, yeah, ultimately, yeah, obviously he's wrong. It is means and methods, not idea.
And speaking of
And
recycle, oh, sorry, I thought you were done. Go ahead.
yeah, no, I really liked him. I thought he was, I really enjoyed him as a character. And for someone that is a relative newcomer to be able to share so many scenes with Letitia Wright and Angela Bassett and hold his own, it was very impressive. I'm looking forward to seeing, I walked out of this and was like, solo movie win, right? When's the next time I'm going to see this character? He was that good for me. Sorry, you asked a question.
Did I ask a question?
You started to say, I'm sorry, you started to say something.
I did,
Maybe
but I
it
don't
wasn't a
remember what it
question.
was. I'll
Okay.
get back to it eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah, I thought he was really good. The people and the city, design of the city was amazing. I thought their design was really well done. It seemed very thoughtful.
They managed to make it unique for
I was
something
just
that we've
about to
seen a
say.
million times. Yeah.
So I wanted to say this without being disparaging of Aquaman. Like, whereas Aquaman, it just seemed like the people were wet. This, I was kind of amazed by the underwater stuff that we got and the way that the people looked and the way that the city looked and the way that it was designed and seemed very thoughtfully designed. And like the portals underwater that took you from one place to the other, like it was cool. I really like that. I would like to see that world again. Let me ask you something, and I want to see if I wasn't making this up. Were they blue on the surface because they were oxygen deprived?
Yes.
And then okay,
Yes.
got it. That's what I thought.
Or maybe not oxygen deprived because they had those things that put over their mouth, but maybe because like when the oxygen touches their skin, it interacts in a specific way, perhaps. But something along those lines. They weren't blue all the time, only above water.
Yeah, it seemed and what I thought was the mask didn't give them as much oxygen as they would be pulling from when they were underwater.
Yeah, not sure about the why. I don't think they were lacking in oxygen because they were able to fight pretty effectively on land. So I don't think that they were like lacking.
No, not sick. I guess how can I phrase this?
I know you meant to the point where it affects their body because they don't have enough
No.
oxygen. Like, no? Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
The same way people turn blue when they can't breathe.
Yeah,
right?
My point is I don't think that they would be blue. If that was the reason, I don't think they would be able to effectively fight.
Alternatively, they are just stronger in water.
Okay.
Maybe the same way he is, but he's still slightly different. I don't know.
In the spin-off movie, they could pretty much give me any explanation. I'll be like, oh, okay. They can give me my explanation or your explanation, and I'll buy it.
Yeah, it would likely be further developed, right? Because you remember in Justice League, they had to create pockets of air so that they could speak, and then James Wan was like, "That's fucking stupid. They can just talk."
Stupid.
Right.
I feel like I rewatched Justice League, the Zack Snyder's cut, and I think I remember them talking underwater, not like
yeah.
I think they did both, if I recall.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Anyways, one thing I was so proud. I'm not sure if you noticed this when they pronounced his name for the first time. When he pronounced his name for the first time, I'm like, they did it. They did the thing that I wanted them to do. Would not pronounce it Namor. Namor. They pronounce it Namor because I know we had a conversation here where I was just like, I'm wondering if they're going to go Namor because it's Latino influence and not Namor. And
Well, it's not Latino. I'm
it's
not going to
Spanish
say it's not
influenced.
Latino. Right.
It's language
Because
influence.
before the name is an anagram for Roman. That's why. This time they literally found a way to make it true, which I like. I like it's one of those things where it's almost like doing a reboot of a thing and they made something make slightly more sense,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
No, it
And I
does.
really like that.
Yeah, that's why I was like with
And
the pronunciation, because everyone calls him Namor. In outside in the real world, everyone calls him Namor. In our world, everyone calls him Namor. And I was just like, because he's Latino, I can't imagine them saying Namor because it would have to be spelled differently, you know?
well, it didn't
Like
mean
just
that before.
I know that, which is why I was
Oh,
wondering
okay.
because it's like Mexican influence,
Yeah.
Yucatan Mayan influence. There's going to be will they change it to fit that linguistic aspect of it? And that was me curious the entire time, and they did, and it made me very happy because I'm like, all
So I
right,
was going to
awesome.
ask you a question. I have a note to ask you who had a better name origin. Was it Solo or was it Namor? But I think I know the answer based on what you're saying.
Obviously, Solo.
Your people have no love. So Namor?
Namor. It was a stretch, but like whatever. I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. I'll go with it.
I think because it came in the context of destroying a plantation, they could have named it whatever the fuck they wanted. I was like, yep, for this. Burn it all down. I could watch this in every
my
MCU
enemies
movie.
call me. I hate plantations.
My enemies call me Django.
My enemies call me fuck the colonizers.
But yeah, that's probably one problem that I had with this movie that stops me from rating it higher. That I just felt like they recycled the plot of the original.
I could see that.
You
And then,
have
I remember what I
oppressed
was gonna say.
peoples. You have oppressed peoples who are raging against the same machine together, and it's like I got it the first time. Yeah.
And I remember what I was gonna say before. In that they even kind of have a recycled character arc for Letitia that Black Panther had.
Yeah.
It wasn't in Black Panther, but it was in another movie. It was in Civil War, and I just thought that was interesting. At the very end, I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, I guess they're doing that again." But it felt fine to me, even though because it was the same arc, but like different journey and different way to get there. So I was totally fine with the fact that both Black Panthers had the same arc.
Okay.
At different points.
Okay.
Spoiler. Shit.
Sure.
Speaking of which, we should get into spoilers.
Let's do it. Yeah, because otherwise this will be a very long show. I also like one last non-spoiler thing, which kind of makes me laugh. You have to know how bad Eternals is that no one, they're like, hey, where's the vibranium? There's literally a god somewhere in the ocean, or what is the equivalent of a god that they could strip for parts. Where's the vibranium?
What's it made of?
Hmm?
Is it vibranium? Do you think it's vibranium?
My point is that movie is so shitty and so well received that it like the idea isn't even worth exploring. They're like, where the fuck is the vibranium? That's all we care about. Where's the vibranium? Like, have you heard anybody talk about this?
I mean, I personally would love to dig into the body of something that came up from the freaking earth, and
just because we haven't had a movie about it doesn't mean it hasn't been done.
They're ignoring it.
They're not. All of the billions of millions of other things that they mention, all the other Easter eggs. Listen, let me tell you,
they mentioned it.
They mentioned strange. It is strange to me.
Did they mention it in She-Hulk?
The comedy. So they relegated the god.
Yeah, they did.
Somewhere. You're right. She's flipping ththrough the newspaper and they're talking about Logan. They're talking about that, but they relegated it to the comedy.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying.
That thing eventually will be not necessarily addressed. I'm not gonna say they're gonna have a whole plot line, but it's gonna pop up in some way, shape, or form. It's gonna happen.
No.
It's gonna happen.
They're just going to say it was mined off screen in some movie in the future.
No, that'll be it. They might do that.
What's the damage control agency?
Yeah, damage control. Got it. But it'll never be used for plot or anything. No human on Earth will have even noticed it except for the extraction crew.
Yeah. So anyway, you ready to get into spoilers?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So I don't really have too many a longer spoiler thought. There are questions and concerns that I have. This did not cause me to rate the movie lower, but I did not like the mid-credits scene. I'll start backward. I will go backwards. I understand why they did it. I think that it makes sense. It feels like the best balance that they could have struck under the circumstances from their perspective.
Okay.
And I say that saying, like, given that you've named this child T'Challa, you're not going to recast T'Challa. Like, that's just it. They're going to age up this kid, and that is the MCU's T'Challa. My question then is, will they actually invest in this kid and bring him up to the same level of visibility? Or are they just going to stick him in Young Avengers at all and do something with him? I don't know. And
question. Yeah.
If it is a one-off, I wouldn't be happy with that. In addition to all of the other concerns that I raised when we talked about this previously. So I didn't like that. I thought that it was tastefully done. I don't like it because I have questions about what they're going to do with it.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't have those questions. To me, I'm like, okay, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I still think there's potential to do that, have a Young Avengers T'Challa, and then maybe even have a multiverse T'Challa in some way. So I think there's a way for them to have their cake and eat it too down the line. But I mean, the kid's really young, so it's going to be a while unless they have another Endgame like event where everything could be aged up 5 years or a handful of years or more, which is possible.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
Or
really,
in a film where they talk about time travel.
I don't have that concern for this character at this point. But I do like what it did for, once again, Shuri's character arc. I thought it was great. I liked it.
Yeah. I also thought there was too much death. I felt like this film
Shuri is the new Thor.
Compounded, basically. But this film just compounded real life tragedy, and then it threw in Angela Bassett as well. And I felt like it was too much. And it's hard for me to think of another character that has gone through quite that much in the same film. And I thought that T'Challa would have been enough.
I like that. I like what it did for her arc. I think it made her rise to the occasion. It made her really forced to reevaluate what the Black Panther can mean to her, and forced her to grow. Because she was able to retreat into her technology. She was able to effectively cope like an addict. And this made it so that she had to do more than that. She had to, like I said, rise to the occasion, kind of understand what the Black Panther means, understand what her role in society is going to be, and effectively move on. And I thought it worked.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. There is a conversation that happens generally among Black critics as we watch things, and it's a question of there's too much death, there's too much Black suffering happening on the screen. And I understand as a narrative choice that you're using this to motivate the characters. And it just felt like it was too much for me.
But like Angela Bassett was being fridged.
Not necessarily, but yeah, kind of. Again, you've already had the death of T'Challa in there. And it felt all too real because every time they're talking about him dying, they're really talking about Chadwick Boseman. And then to add on top of that, the death of Queen Ramonda, that just felt like a lot. So one of the things that was kind of interesting, I walked out wondering, do I want to see a Ironheart show? And I wasn't sure based on what I saw. I didn't. I
Mhm.
walked out neutral on the character. It is nice that we got introduced to her already. So she had a very Black Panther-esque introduction to this world, where in not her own movie, we get to see
Mhm.
her and see what she's capable of, like Civil War style. And now we'll get to see her in her own thing. And so I'm hoping, although when I did see Black Panther in Civil War, I was more excited for what was coming next than what might happen in Ironheart.
I thought he was more integrated better into Civil War than Ironheart was into this. Riri was kind of a plot point that I kind of forgot why. I'm like, wait, why are they coming after her again? Like, what? Why? I said, going back now, like, why? Why do they? I don't remember why they went to her. Do you?
Because she created the machine. And so it is a thing that doesn't really make any sense. She created the device that was capable of detecting vibranium. Nemours thought process was, well, we need to kill her because she can create the machine. It's like, well, yes, but like once an idea is out there, killing the person that originated it doesn't do anything. So that felt like flawed
I mean, he's
thinking.
pretty
And that's
isolated. He's isolated, so he doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
I was gonna say, I love it's just basic on, but like, I mean, lives in the fucking ocean. He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
He
things.
doesn't know. But like, but Riri,
Scotty doesn't know.
I think her character was good. I liked her character. I thought she was fun to watch. And I'll watch more of her, but I don't think she was ultimately necessary. It felt like unnecessary. The more I think about it, it's like I don't think.
Well,
I don't know.
It's
what she
necessary from the
contributed.
perspective that they need to set up this character to have their own TV show.
Right, but it didn't feel necessary in the movie. I think they could have done it without her, and almost as effectively. Though I do like her design, and not only like I kind of want to transition to the designs in general between that and then the Okoye. I think her new outfit. That's like straight out of Power Rangers. Both of them straight out of Power Rangers. Everyone, people complain about it. I like it. I think it looks fun. It somehow has that sort of plastically look to it. Makes it feel so different from Iron Man, even though, it's basically more Iron Man suits. Also, Okoye's new suit looks like a Zora from Zelda, like exactly like Zora's. It's weird. I saw that and was like, how Nintendo? You better get your suing pants on because you're about to have a pretty actionable lawsuit on your hands here. So
this is and so if you've looked at all at Ta-Nehisi Coates' run of Black Panther, you'll see these characters exist in that as well, but they don't predate Zelda. So,
but the Zoras, to be fair, I think the Zoras I'm speaking about specifically, mostly Breath of the Wild, because they look different in the other games.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember how recent his run is. They're probably contemporary.
Who is it?
Ta-Nehisi Coates. He's a writer. So he's the guy that wrote it. He didn't illustrate it. But I definitely remember reading part of his run while I was in Germany. So this is easily 4 years old at this point. It's got to be.
This is 2018. So,
4 years.
Did not predate Zelda. Did not predate Zelda. Did not predate Breath of the Wild.
When's Breath of the Wild?
2017.
Yeah, so I said contemporaries.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, like, you were right in that it didn't predate the Zora.
Yeah, I guess the way I was thinking of it was that they were close enough in time that it would be hard for me to think that they influenced the other, if that makes sense.
I think there's a solid year between them. I don't know how long they spend on actually making the comics and designs, but I think it's potential that there could have been some what's it called, subconscious influence.
I don't know.
If I'm releasing
a thing in 2018, presumably I'm making it in 2017, right?
Right. While playing Zelda.
I'm looking at your designs. Are trash. Look at this.
No, they're not. They're not trash. They're great. No, to be fair, I'm
saying they're trash. Like, whatever designs they originally had, they're trash. Look at this game. Do this.
So I'm looking at the designs right now. I think they look different enough in the comic compared to the movie. The movie looks more like Zora's to me than the comic.
Yeah. Okay.
But whatever. Like I genuinely don't think this is actually, a copy or anything. It just took me out of the movie a bit, and I was just like, huh. It looks like Zora mixed in with Power Rangers, like a Power Rangers creature. Not complaining. Once again, I actually really love that Sentai aesthetic they're going for with these designs. Like I was surprised. I was like, if I was a kid and then I saw, oh yeah, in 20 years or 30 years, this is gonna be a movie and they're gonna look like this, I would just be like, oh my god, it's like the best thing ever.
I was also frustrated with, not frustrated, that's not the right word. Maybe it is, Michaela Cole. I really like her, but I did not understand her role in this. I want
who's
more
that?
from her. So she was the soldier that had the knives. So she was the Dora Milaje
Yeah,
soldier.
it was weird, right? She
And
didn't
so
do
she
anything.
is a relatively, she's a relatively high, to me, she's a high profile actress. I like everything that she's been in. She talked a lot about being in this movie, almost to the point where when we were having the Black Panther conversation, there was a part of my brain that was like, it's possible that she's the one in the suit, right? Like she is a high enough profile actress where if they did that, I'd be like, yeah, I could see that. But from a narrative perspective in this, I didn't understand why she was there, what the role was, or any of that stuff. And so these are kind of the things where I'm talking about. Like there were some things they could have tightened up about the movie.
She was like a quirky side character that
And
was there to fill in some color, but not really do anything. It was a little bit strange. I agree. I expected more out of her. Then ultimately she was the other woman in the suit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like that was it. She was just a body to put in the suit alongside Okoye, which is fine.
And
but
I think Kyle's probably right. It feels like they cut some stuff out, which, for a 2 hour and 41-minute movie, I guess. It definitely felt like there was probably a story. Yeah, it definitely feels like there was a storyline or something that got cut out. And I'm curious what it was, because again, to me, she's a high profile actress. Maybe that's not the way Lucasfilm and Disney see her, because she was also in The Last Jedi in a very quick cameo. It basically was a cameo. She was one of the bridge officers. So
I do have a theory on what was cut out, though. I think there was a longer, more detailed thread with Okoye having lost her generalship, and I'm betting she plays into that more, because you see her go back and say, I need you to help me. So I'm thinking that there's probably more to that thread, some partnership, relationship aspects, grieving, coping with having lost this position, lost the princess. That's what I felt like is probably missing. I don't know.
I just remind
me. I think that's a good theory.
There could be the spin-off show now, which is called Disgraced, and it's like the 10 minutes between when she was dismissed and when she got back into the suit. That's the whole series.
Well, this could be the Wakanda show, right?
Oh, I forgot about that.
This could be the Wakanda show.
I forgot about that show.
I would watch an Okoye-led Wakanda show. I think I would have been more excited before these suits. They didn't really do anything for me. But as a Dora Milaje, like I really enjoyed her. And so for me, some of the weakness of the movie was you had these really high highs, like Angela Bassett dressing Okoye down in the throne room, fucking amazing. It's certainly award level nomination.
And it was like well earned too. It was where she was just like, "Oh, you thought I forgot about the fact that you just turned on me last movie."
And I love when they do that. I love when a movie can effectively bring back things that otherwise would have seemed like, oh, that was just a loose plot thread, a thing that happened. And like you said, like, no, I didn't fucking forget. Think about that shit all the time. Fuck you. And I really liked that. And so you had this really high of that scene, and then kind of this scene that, because Michaela Cole wasn't integrated well into the story, like, why is she at her house? Like, why did this happen? What's going on here? Like, what's the point of this? I didn't need that. And not only did I not need it, just didn't feel like it was meshed well with the story. And so that adds to this runtime unnecessarily.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. I'm trying to think here any other aspects that were yeah, like it did feel like there's just a lot of things that could have been shaved down. And like I said, the first half, it felt like it lacked focus. I feel like I wanted, this is stupid me saying it, but like I feel like there could have been a stronger narrative if they had more Shuri up front and less Angela Bassett. Because it just made it feel like I wasn't sure what I'm supposed to be following and what the narrative through line is and what I should be connected to. But ultimately, I do think that Shuri was like, I sung her praises earlier, but I remember seeing her in the first movie, and I thought she was great in the first movie, but she was very kind of one note, like really sort of cool genius, younger sister type character. And in this one, you really get to see like the layers of her and how understated her performance is throughout the entire movie, where it's just, she's in mourning. You could just tell she's just morose. And it was just, there was a specific moment, and I don't remember what it is, but she said a couple of lines, and I'm like, I was surprised that they just allowed her to have this much range in this movie. And I thought her character ultimately at the end rose to the occasion of the lead of this movie. And I just wish they went full into it from the beginning to end.
Yeah, so that is a dangerous proposition for me, because I enjoyed Angela Bassett that
I did too.
much. Like,
I did too. She was great.
And I could not think of anything that I would want cut. So to your point, like they basically opened the movie not with her, but like,
I mean, basically, they have that opening scene with
basically,
Shuri, and then you cut to that scene in the United Nations meeting.
Yeah, and she's, like I said, she's just carrying this movie, and I wouldn't take any of that stuff out. Like, I just couldn't.
I mean, maybe it's not about taking it
all of
out, but repurposing it more through the perspective of Shuri in some way.
Yeah.
But she's not even present for a good chunk of that, for any of that opening scene.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few other scenes where she's not present for. Like I said, she's not really thrown back into the spotlight until 30 minutes in. And I just think it's wasted opportunity that we could have been. It's very un-Marvel like, because to a fault, Marvel has been main character centric. I mean, you look at, and my mind goes back to Iron Man 2, not because of how narratively weird it was, but because it was an opportunity where I was like, oh, we get to see War Machine do his War Machine thing. And I thought maybe the focus might be more on him, but he literally was just a side character in that movie, and pretty much in every movie that had Iron Man in it. And I remember constantly being disappointed. I'm like, I like these movies, but these side characters aren't getting a lot to work with. Like, yeah, they're fun side characters, but I don't feel like I'm getting to know them, which is a part of the reason why it's taken this long for us to give a shit about many of them. It's a reason why we're still kind of like, it took us that long to really get Sam Fisher. That's right? Sam Wilson. I always get those two names mixed up.
Yeah, I was like,
Sam Wilson.
Splinter Cell? Why are we talking about Splinter Cell?
Sam Wilson. I always get those names mixed up. Sam Wilson in as Captain America. And why, like, all these side characters, it took them so long. It took them a decade for us to be like, okay, now I could see you as a main character. It took too long. And I feel like this is the reverse problem, where it's like you have all these other characters that's like, oh, I kind of want them to be the main character. I kind of want them to be the main character, almost at the expense of who should be the main character and the main driving force of this movie.
Yeah. I have two more things to say about this movie, then I'm ready to move on if you are. I know you said you don't like the fight scenes. I really like the Koye's fight scenes. I like, especially the bridge fight.
No, that was good.
She was awesome. And not only was she awesome, I love the way she uses her spear. It's just a lot of fun to watch her pick that thing up and use it. Like, it's a lot of fun. So that was a high for me. A low for me was, I did not like that they went out into the ocean to fight Namor and his people. Like it didn't make sense because that's where they're the strongest. And they talked about it in this movie where the Americans were like, hey, these people they're so technologically advanced, we don't know that we could beat them in war. Like these people literally went to where Namor's people were the strongest they could possibly be. And the plan just didn't really make any sense. And so not only are they supposed to be the strongest and the smartest, this was the plan of the smartest of the smarties. Shuri, this is her idea. And she's like, let's go into the middle of the ocean. I'm like, what? That seems dumb. And I think that you could play it off as this is a plan that is born by your grief. But in that circumstance, I need someone to say that. I need someone to kind of look at her sideways and say, like, is this really the best that you can do? Like, we're gonna get people are gonna die. And no one said anything. Even after lots of people died, no one said, like, that probably was not the best idea. So
yeah, I could see that. I could also see them being like, hey, Will's like, why don't we go out into the desert, just take them there? And Will's like, well, it's going to be really hard to attract them to that area. Period. It's easier to attract them to somewhere in the ocean.
He came on land for reasons. So
He did.
They could have been
He came
like,
on
yeah,
land
let's
to
parlay.
attack them. He came on land to attack them.
He said, I'll be back. He was like, bury your dead, da-da-da, I'll be back. So clearly there was no reason for them to go to him. He was coming back.
They didn't want to endanger Wakanda, though. They didn't want to endanger the people of Wakanda.
They evacuated him.
Is it easy to evacuate like a country?
They did it.
Did they evacuate
Everybody was
them?
with M'Baku. Yeah, they took everyone left. They were with M'Baku's people. Yes.
All of them?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
There's even a scene where
everybody's. Yeah.
They're like, there's more coming from the city. We need more space. And he's like, what do you want me to do? You guys are guests here. And yeah.
Hey, he's like, you bougie motherfuckers, squeeze in.
How did I miss that? I must have zoned out for a second because I literally missed that plot point where everyone was.
Because I think at that point we were 2 hours and 20 minutes, and there were another 20 minutes left in the movie.
No, by that point there was 45 minutes left in the movie.
Yeah,
I remember. I looked at my watch a lot this movie. I will say that a lot.
Yeah, and Danny had the same complaint, criticism. Oh, sorry, I said I was done. I one more thing. We even talked about Killmonger. What'd you think about that?
I like what he represented. I'm not sure how I like it. That it was. I'm not sure how I like the execution.
Why?
Because maybe it's because it wasn't clear to me from the get-go what he was meant to represent. And by the time that we understood what he represented, maybe I just wanted to see him again at that point and maybe see her actively reject him versus. Yeah. I think that's it.
I'm just mad it means he's dead.
Well, obviously he was dead.
No, he could have come back, because I always had the dream and it would have never happened given the way things are going. But him being involved, not necessarily on the Thunderbolts team, but having to face off against a mind like a criminal mind like Zemo. I wish they hadn't killed Claw, to have all three of them involved and that was my dream. So this was just like, yeah, we'll never see Killmonger, and that's the only thing I didn't like.
He was a villain worth seeing again.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so, and I think that was only proven more by the What If series, because I really enjoyed watching him come back. So, and another piece of Marvel where we got to see T'Challa die again. It's very exciting.
When I see this movie again, I think I want to be able to better understand how I feel about him popping up. It kind of felt out of place for me.
Why did she want to burn the world down?
That's a good question. I think she's angry. I get it in some level. It's irrational, which I know is not your forte in understanding. But she is basically. Try to think here. She just felt so just betrayed by the world when her brother, her best friend, is just gone, and she took it really hard. I mean, and then as a result, nothing. It's an irrational thought, I will say.
Yeah. I I think my frustration is that it wasn't presented as such.
As irrational?
Yeah. It kind of muddies the waters about what her motivations are and why. Because that whole scene with Killmonger is kind of predicated on like, what is her thought process? What is the why of why she wanted to get the herb back?
I disagree, because I think he's saying like, we need to point out that she's wrong for being really angry at her brother's death. I don't think that's the way to do it.
No.
Because I don't think she actually wanted to burn the world down, but she was just angry that the world, fate, whatever, did that and took her brother away. And she was just angry. And I think that's totally normal when you lose someone that close to you. For most, just maybe not for you, Jonesy, but for many people, it is.
No, it's. I feel like you're reading in something that they did not set up well. How is it the world's fault? They didn't talk about fate. They didn't talk about any of those things, and
that is a good point. I agree, because I think there's several points. The beginning of the movie with the funeral, and at several points during Shuri's arc, there are points where I was like tearing up quite a bit. But it was also because I also recognized, I feel like I'm auto completing a lot of that in my head. And it's driving me to emotion just because I'm auto completing it in a more effective way than was actually presented in the movie. So I agree with you.
If she said she was angry at him, I would have understood that, even if it's irrational, right? Like that would have been a driving force and a motivation that made sense in character. But when you tell me that you want to burn the world down, I'm like, why? We haven't talked about anything that the world had anything to do with this, but no.
I think I understood the sentiment, even if it didn't make sense to me, because it was driven by emotion and irrationality. Like that's just what happens. Like you're angry at the world when you lose someone close to you. And then also when her mom died as well, I could definitely get that. She's like, well, F the world. Like at that point she had lost her mom and her brother. And I could understand the desire to burn the world down at that point when losing so many people in close proximity. I mean, she lost her. What do you mean? What is this?
I guess.
I mean, just I wouldn't. Though I would be morbidly depressed, but I wouldn't want to burn the world down. But I could see that feeling. I mean, you also have to deal.
I'm gonna run with your autocomplete thing. Okay. I'm gonna run with your autocomplete thing because to me it makes more sense to be mad at Namor than it does the world.
And she was. And at that point, she was. And that drove her to go forward. But I get your point. I think you're more right than I am, because I am auto completing some things and I want to see the movie again so I can understand more if there is more to that, something that I missed, or if it's just a kind of a flaw in the way the story is structured.
I'm gonna go with flaw. And these are my issues with, like, these are the things that stop it from being in a movie.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Which is funny because I gave it a lower grade than you, but I feel like you have more critiques than I do.
It's fun. I liked it. I do have.
I expected it to be more fun. It was kind of.
What?
I expected it to be more fun. Well, I expected it. Let me rephrase that. So
It's literally a funeral.
I know that it's a funeral, but like I expected. Oh, can I
think you're confused. I think you're confused. I get that black funerals can be fun. I get it.
Hey, I went to Wakanda for a semester. I think I know more about Wakandan culture than you do, Jonesy. And it was a ball. I had a great time.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I went there during the blip, so there were a lot of funerals. So I was partying nonstop.
All the clubs are open. There are no lines anywhere. They were charging cover because nobody was there.
I love it.
You
That
fucking
is some
triggered my
dark.
COVID
That is
cough.
some dark humor, guys. I love it.
It's
Anyway,
like, no, you should wait. So in Hawaii, you should hear people talk about what it was like being stationed in Hawaii during COVID. They're like, it's fucking amazing because there are no tourists coming here. It's like
I'm
people are
sure.
dying. They're like, whatever. Beach is clear.
No, but I expected to me the movie, the tone, the energy felt kind of like this, whereas I expected to be kind of more higher highs and lower lows. Maybe it's just the feel of it didn't reach like, oh, this is fun to watch at any point. Whereas I think there were definitely several points in the first movie where I felt that, even amidst.
I don't think you would ever get that from this movie.
Maybe not. Well, I mean, you said
Like
it
I
was
said-
fun. You said it was fun, and I was just like, I thought it'd be more fun. So that's just where it came from.
Did I say fun? Maybe I did say
think you
fun.
did. I think you did. That's what triggered me. So
I think I really, I
threw
think
down
I
my
really
Wakanda
just,
card.
here's the thing. I think I really just enjoyed Okoye and Shuri interacting. They were a lot of fun. They were
Mhm.
fun.
They were fun. Yeah, that
Um,
was probably the most quote unquote fun part, was that whole
Yeah.
middle plot, that whole middle unessential plot to the story.
Going to
When
MIT.
they go getting Riri, who one thing I thought was great. I love when she went to the bathroom and Okoye was already in there. She's like, "Oh,
like, what are you doing?
whoa,
What are you doing?
What are you doing?"
What are you doing?
She starts throwing. I guess her speakers, are those that a Bluetooth speaker she threw at them? I don't know what it was.
And
'Cause I'm
to
old.
be clear, when I say fun, I enjoy there are things that I think are fun. Like Namor is a fun villain to me. Like I enjoy watching him do his thing. Like when he was like, hey, we could partner together, we could have like this mutual pact together, this this mutual defense treaty. Let's do this. And she's like, what if I say? He's like, then I'm gonna fucking kill all of you. And like, right, like you laugh. Like in my head, that's what I'm hearing as I'm watching him make this pitch. And it's funny to me. And I enjoy it. And I wish they had shown it, but they didn't. Like they're having this conversation in his little grotto.
Hey,
And-
breaking news, guys. This is a pretty big deal. Otherwise, I wouldn't interrupt the review. Kevin Conroy has passed.
Oh my god!
No.
How old was he?
gotta be
Kevin
60s.
Conroy, born in 55, 66 years old.
Yeah.
That's not very old.
Nope. Everyone's reporting on it. The oldest one looks like 30 minutes, so this is fresh.
Shit.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's
That sucks.
that does suck.
So I'm gonna flash my little Batman animated series Funko
Yeah.
Pop.
So if you guys want to talk any of that later on, fine, but I wanted to get that in. So sorry.
Yeah, let's definitely we could touch on that after this.
I'm gonna fucking cleave to my Funko Pops.
Who's that on next to Batman? Who's that? I don't
Get your
know who
fucking
that
shit
is.
together.
I don't know who that is. Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's the king of Wakanda. The king of Wakanda.
I couldn't tell from a distance.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah, I enjoyed watching their scenes together. And the scene, like I said, where he made this pitch, when he stood up after he was talking to her, I kind of expected. And when one of the people that she was like, "Yeah, you're being summoned," I kind of wanted him to like take off his little cape thing and jump in the water. I don't know why. I kind of wanted to see her thirst over him a little bit.
I wondered that. I'm not gonna lie. So when I was watching this, so I've been interacting a lot on Book Talk, and there's like everyone, like so many people on Book Talk, especially women, are all about the domineering male love interest, and I was just like,
when
oh,
aren't they?
I want him to
Like
throw
every
me
trashy
onto
romance.
the bed. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's like literally I could see him as the lead of a trashy romance where it's just like, oh, he might kill my entire kingdom, and then somehow that does it for her. Like I imagine that is like, I can imagine like the fan fiction coming from this, turning those scenes into like a smutty side story. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, it made me think of Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, where marriage is how you resolve some of these issues.
And
And
I thought
to
this
your
is where we're
point,
going. Yeah.
yeah, I thought so too. And maybe they thought that they wouldn't like that plot like that. But I thought for someone as old as he is, that would make sense. And you could have had that counterpoint of like, no, 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 that's not how we do things anymore. Like the T'Challa, like, we don't do that here, right? But anyway, that's it.
But yeah, I love the line.
I'm
Also, he's
sad
like,
now.
where he talks about how what would happen to her body if she went down. He's like, or you can wear a suit.
Like,
I thought that was great.
He, like I said, fun. Like when I talk about fun, that's kind of what I mean. Like I thought he was fun. He was charming.
Or every scene in Baku's in Baku.
Yeah, exactly. And he was. What did he say?
He
Like
brings,
we're
he
going to
brings so much
reward her
levity.
with exile.
Yeah. He's like, 'cause
So
that's
yeah,
just how we do
is he going to be the
politics
king
in
of
this
Wakanda
country.
now?
No. Well, oh wait, yeah, here's a question I had. So wait, so she's the Black Panther, so she's not going to be the queen. Is that
Doesn't seem like it.
that was weird because he's like, I'm fighting for the king for the whatever of Wakanda. I
I
was like, wait,
challenge. Yeah,
I challenge, and I was like, wait, does that mean she's not? And then I remembered, oh yeah,
if she
Black
doesn't
Panther
show
and
up,
King,
yeah,
Panther and King used to be separate titles. I forgot about that. Um, sure, yeah, he's awesome. I love M'Baku. Also, I love that little touch at the beginning, where he shows up for the first time and he's just chewing on a carrot. Love it.
yeah. It took me a while to figure out what that is. I was like, is this fucking Bugs Bunny here? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ready to move
Good call
on?
back to the vegetarianisms of the Jabari tribe.
You ready to move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I it's weird. I'm looking at the news list and I'm thinking about Kevin Conroy now. You want to do this first? You want to talk about Kevin Conroy?
Get out of the way, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what can I say
So
other than he's like just a seminal part of our childhoods, childhides.
yeah.
I mean, he like obviously we grew up Michael Keaton being Batman, but we didn't watch more. No one else took on the role more when we were kids than him. Well, I guess maybe I'm already contradicting myself with Adam West, but he
I think he
definitely
did more to define the role than
for our generation. Yeah.
For our generation. Yeah.
And yeah, it's weird, like because I thought he'd be. I was just thinking about him the other day. I don't know what the context was, but I was just like, oh, I wonder if he's gonna do anything anytime soon. Apparently not.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mind just goes back to that iconic opening in episodes of the animated series, and it's great that I'm happy that that show got the recognition it deserved, and that everyone appreciated everyone involved in it as much as they
At the
have,
time.
especially at the time and since then. You know, it wasn't one of
Yeah.
those things where it's like we didn't appreciate it until it was too late, but like that they got to live and experience their success in real time and continuously. So on that in that sense, I think it's a hugely positive thing. I'm happy. And he had a great career as a result. So he will be missed.
Yeah. Agreed with everything you said. I easily one of the best Batman movies, right? Mask of the Phantasm, fantastic music with Shirley Walker. And so them coming together to create this character with everybody else on that show is just amazing. And I'm glad, like I said, that everyone enjoyed it at the time. This was how I introduced Batman to my son. There's a picture somewhere that I have of my son looking at me while we're watching that opening. And so Kevin Conroy it was amazing. So I am sad. I'm sorry for his family and friends, folks that knew him. But I'm glad he was able to share his talent with the world, and we got to experience that. So, favorite episode? I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Yeah, so I haven't thought about. I haven't watched this series since college. So
No.
I'm trying to like, honestly, this is bad. I'm trying to parse out what is Batman and what is Batman Beyond. Um,
It's fair.
I mean, Harley Quinn's introduction, I really like, and it's easy to forget that she was introduced in an animated series and not in the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I like her introduction as a character.
Okay.
He
So
was Bruce in Batman Beyond, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure that I didn't.
it's all connected.
Yeah.
So he was in that as well as Justice League and Justice League Unlimited and Batman Beyond. Like that was a fantastic fucking run of just the DC animated universe. It's just
because it's funny when
chef's
you
kiss.
ask what my favorite episodes is. My mind goes to, I think it was the Batman Beyond movie, the one with the Joker.
Joker Returns.
Yeah,
Return of the Joker.
Good. That one is the most
That's
impactful
good.
for me.
Why?
It was just surprisingly dark and demented.
There's like a PG. Yes, is it PG-13 or rated? There's a no, not rated R. There's a PG-13.
It's not R. It's not R. But like, I just for me, because Batman the animated series, it was dark, but it was dark in a PG friendly way, whereas they added an extra twist, a little extra dementedness to it in that movie that I don't think I was used to at the time.
I mean, getting shot in the heart with your own gun, and having a flag sticking out of your chest as you die for a Saturday morning cartoon. It's fucking dark.
Yeah.
Dark. I don't even like, if Netflix didn't exist and we still had like the same kind of TV regime that we have now, I don't know that you could get away with that. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
What's your favorite?
I have a couple. The ones that specifically focus on him, I think the Two-Face episodes, the introduction, really good. I really like the Grey Ghost episode because then you get the Adam West / Kevin Conroy mashup in there, which I love. I loved when I was a kid. I used to love the Shadow radio program, and so getting to see them directly reference the fact that the Shadow influenced Batman, but then they also were like, well, who could we get to play the Shadow character? And then they get Adam West, and you get to see Kevin Conroy interact with Adam West, and it, for me, it was just it was really well done. It was a lot of fun. And then I also liked the Robin origin story. All the origin, like, it seems like they spent a lot of time thinking about the origin stories.
Well, because I know that in their show Bible, they wanted each episode to feel like a mini movie. So I think they were kind of structured as such. I think Origins, they lend themselves to that structure very well, and I think it's what makes them very impactful. And like, speaking of origin stories, I think Mr. Freeze also, right, had as
Heart of Ice
one that was not just impactful for me at the time, but I mean, I think it really influenced how that character was portrayed going forward. Period. So
yep, agreed. I liked and I don't know if I said Robin's Reckoning. Oh yeah, I did. I said Robin origin story. So yeah, handful of episodes that I really enjoyed. And I would be remiss if I did not mention Almost Got Him, but that's not as Kevin Conroy centric. Like, I really love that episode, but that's more about the villains talking about him. So that's it.
All right, well, let's move on to the next story, and hopefully a lighter subject matter. Well, yeah, I'm gonna say yes, it's lighter subject matter because it doesn't have to do with death. So
John Wick doesn't have to do with death.
Oh fuck, I forgot about John Wick. I forgot.
Baba Yaga's back, y'all. So John Wick has the opportunity to take down the high table. I think the thing that, so Jeremy, we were talking before about what could we say about this trailer. I think the thing that interests me about the trailer is him having a family. And it's fascinating to me that it took them 4 movies to introduce his family, and it doesn't feel like a plot device. He just seems like the kind of person that you wouldn't know that about until you know. And so I'm looking forward to that, and seeing that get fleshed out. I'm also interested in seeing this series come to a close, not because I think it's bad. I just want to see where it's going. And so the introduction of this hopefully drives us forward to ending this story.
This series has been surprisingly strong in that it's pretty, I don't want to say one note because that's not quite right, but it's just like you know what to expect going to a John Wick movie. He's like he starts killing people. He kills people. He's on a mission to kill people, or he's on a mission and people are in the way, and he's got to get to it. And yet they lace in just enough mythology. Like you have the mythology, the background, along with the extra things about his past coming out and kind of coming together. That's just, it feels dense enough. It feels like you're getting enough with each movie. And
that's
hard to do.
Is this Janet praising world building? Oh my
What is
God.
happening, Janet? What is this? Is that my name? What's happening?
Yeah. You've been Janet for like a few months now.
You've been Janet for a while.
I've never heard this.
You know how
Danny was the one that started calling you Janet, I think.
You know how I use the swipe texting, like I glide my finger across, I don't peck at the keys. The autocorrect for Jammer will sometimes come out as Janet, and so a while ago, I think it was Danny was like, "Nope, that's it. That's your name now." So.
I didn't notice. That's funny.
That is funny.
But no, so I mean, I'm allowed to like world building, you piece of shit. But yeah, so I just like that they do it enough to contribute to the plot of the story, so they breadcrumb you throughout in an effective way, and I'm sure this one will be more of the same. But to be frank, I'm never super excited before I see these movies. It's kind of like I'm watching a Marvel movie where I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it, and I was like, oh, that was really good. I'm glad I watched that. That's how I feel every single time watching these movies.
Hard disagree. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for this. I can't wait to see it. I enjoy the John Wick movies a lot.
And I just recognize the villain from... I forgot. Who's the villain in this movie?
I can't tell.
Hang on. I'm looking this up because I know I'm going to recognize him and I'm going to be like...
Are you thinking Bill Skarsgård?
No.
Okay.
I recognize the Skarsgård for sure. Because at first I was like, that's the Skarsgård. That's not the guy from It and Barbarian.
So who are you talking about?
I'm trying to figure out who I'm talking about. Calm yourself.
Donnie Yen?
Was that him?
Yeah.
I didn't recognize
the one who's talking to him because he's getting old. Are you talking about the guy who was talking to him in the church when he said, "You saying goodbye"? Yeah, that's Donnie Yen.
Yep. Okay, that's what I was thinking about. How did I not recognize Donnie Yen? That's a travesty.
Something's wrong with you.
I knew he looked familiar, but I didn't know what from. That's how bad it was.
Okay.
He's not getting old like Jet Li.
Half a second.
Jet Li. Have you seen those recent pictures? Well, not recent. This was years ago.
Don't depress me anymore. This is already a depressing enough show. It's long because it's depressing, and now it's like, no. For a second, I thought you were talking about Hiroyuki Sanada. I was like, I don't know if he's a bad guy.
I don't know.
But yeah, that was definitely Donnie Yen, which I'm excited about. Like, I think about Blade 2. Probably not. It's weird. Most people probably don't think of Donnie Yen when they think of Blade 2. But
no, I don't. I didn't even know he was in that.
What?
I've seen it. Yeah.
What?
I mean, I saw it literally. I'll admit, the last time I saw Blade 2 was in theaters, so it's been a hot minute.
Dude, that is one of the best vampire flicks out there. It is an amazing comic book movie.
Kyle,
oh my God.
I'm going to blow your mind. I don't like vampire movies that much, so that means nothing to me.
Jonesy, do you want me to just kick Jammer off? I'll finish the episode with you. Okay.
All right. Well, I got shit to do.
I think the other thing that I love about it is because it's one of the ones that jumps out to me is because he choreographed a lot of the fighting for it. He helped with that, and so that sticks out to my mind when I think about that movie. So I always think about
Can,
him.
can
So
we
I'm
talk
always
about one
excited.
thing that bothers me? Why did they decide to change up the naming convention again?
John Wick.
If
Oh,
John
as
Wick,
opposed to a subtitle.
John Wick Chapter 2, John Wick
Yeah,
Chapter 3, Parabellum, and now just John Wick Chapter 4. What the
yeah.
what's going on?
Is it chapter 4 or is it just John
It's
Wick
just
4?
Chapter 4. It went back.
Okay. Some titles have subtitle, or some chapters have subtitles and some
Just
don't.
one. Just the third one. Just the third one
Uh,
has
uh,
subtitles. It's
uh.
annoying. It's
No,
not
it's
quite
not.
Fast and Furious annoying, but it's annoying.
Fuck you. Anyway, so yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to see this. But I agree with everything you said about the lore. Um, it's just breadcrumby enough. It reminds me a lot of the Man with No Name series. Although he does do more talking than
Interesting.
Clint Eastwood. Well, there's a very basic plot, right? And it's really just to facilitate the next gunfight. Let's get from this gunfight to this gunfight to this gunfight. It's very bare bones. It's just enough to get you to the next thing.
I guess so.
Mm.
But conversely, those gunfights I feel like have a lot of build up and then are done quickly, whereas this one they just go forever.
Yeah, it is a different style. Yes, you're right about that part. But I guess I think of Keanu Reeves as a character, almost like the Man with No Name.
And for me, I'm always for the Man with No Name. I'm always just like, he's fucking different. He's a different character in each movie. I don't care what anyone says.
Next thing.
Next thing.
You wrote a list. What's the next thing?
Oh, you were asking me.
Star Wars
Sorry.
news.
Yeah,
JD
yeah.
Dillard
Star
and
Wars
Sean
news.
Levy.
So
I
JD
didn't
Dillard,
realize
the
you were
director of
prompting.
the kind of
Okay.
sort of devotion director JD Dillard will not be directing the Star Wars movies. So just after we just told Kathleen Kennedy, us specifically, this podcast, we say, stop. You just fucking stop announcing shit. The film that I forgot was announced is no longer happening. And to quote this dude from the Wrap, he says, "It was not for lack of trying. Nah, yeah, not for it was going to be an original idea." And they pressed him and asked him, "Hey, what do you mean original idea?" And he talks about the fact how TIE Fighter changed his life. He said his dad being an aviator, we had a bunch of flight simulators. I'm playing this game, TIE Fighter, for months, and my dad's flying it with me. I'm like, man, this game is just so cool. And he's like, well, this game comes from a series of movies. And I was like, what? You're kidding me. That is where I watched Star Wars for the first time and realized the full scope of what it meant to world build, because I've been playing this pseudo 16-bit game, which is like, it's weird to me I'm almost curious how old he is now. It is strange to me to play those games before ever seeing Star Wars.
It's weird. I'm
Is
sure
it
a lot of
okay?
people who were playing Super Star Wars back before Star Wars happened.
You think so?
I imagine there's a lot of siblings who maybe their sibling was playing Super Star Wars and they were playing it a lot and then later on realized, oh, it's from a movie.
I guess. That's really weird to me.
It is weird.
I'm not sure I would have been interested in playing those games.
How old is Dillard?
I was just about to look it up. I don't know.
I'm trying to look it up and it is not popping up. I don't have a birth year. I don't have there's no like estimate. 2013 was one of his first projects according to his Wikipedia, but yeah, there's nothing. He was a Navy brat. His dad was a flight officer, and that's literally the only entry on the early life.
Hell,
there was no mother had birthed him. That's so
he was
strange.
in episode 9.
Huh. Well, he was
FN 1226 in the Rise of Skywalker. I don't remember anything about that, if he had a line or if he was just an extra, but there you go.
That's very strange. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
The movie?
For the number of films that he's done, relatively, I don't know if I would say, like, I have heard of Slight long before I knew this guy was going to be doing a Star Wars movie. Huh. Anyway.
So it's interesting that I wonder if he's going to pull Zack Snyder because he said that he's still interested in making a space film, but now it would be a quote unquote original idea. So maybe we'll see a Zack Snyder type thing where, Rebel Moon was going to be a Star Wars thing and now it's just going to be a Netflix original movie. That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Original space fantasy stories.
I think the thing that disappointed me the most about that trailer, like we've had Star Wars films get announced and canceled almost in the same breath. The thing that disappointed me about the story was the no Rocketeer sequel, which I know there are some movies where you're like, I don't want to see a sequel to that. I think that I would be really excited to see a sequel to that movie, as well as having it be brought to the screen. Maybe let's just see Devotion first. Let me wait to see Devotion first. But for someone who has that background, I think would be really fun to see what they did with the material. So,
yeah. But that's not the only Star Wars related thing. As
it's
we
not the
mentioned
only.
before, we
It is
talked
not.
about Kathleen Kennedy should stop announcing things, and she did stop announcing things. But that doesn't stop the looky-loos on the journalism side from pulling out stories from their sources from within. And the latest one has to do with one Shaunius Levius, or Sean Levy, as he's known for short, who is known for many different things. He's been a director for a long time. He produced the Stranger Things. He's one of the executive producers and creators of Stranger Things through his 21 Laps studio. And most recently did Free Guy and that Netflix movie with Ryan Reynolds, whose name escapes me, but the Ryan Project,
Adam Project.
Adam Project,
Adam Project, the Ryan Project,
which I thought was
it technically is the Ryan Project.
It technically is the Ryan Project. And I thought that was fun. I think he's a great director, and I think he has that sort of emblem-esque feel to a lot of his movies that could be beneficial to Star Wars. So yeah,
isn't that J.J. Abrams?
I mean, yeah, but different, a different kind.
You mean a good kind?
Hopefully, the good
different
kind.
In that it's good.
I liked The Force Awakens. I don't care what anybody says. Was it a retread? Yeah, but I think it was still solidly done.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it opened up too many boxes that he didn't know the answers to. But yeah, I think this is cool news. So he's going to be tackling this after he completes Deadpool 3, also at Disney. And also, well, I said also, but because his other previous movies, along with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. So he's worked with both those actors before. Obviously, the Adam Project with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman in Real Steel back in the day.
Oh yeah, Real Steel.
So good stuff. I'm excited. I think this is a good fit. What do you think?
Oh, looking forward to it. I want them to make a Star Wars movie.
Just make a Star Wars movie. Just fucking
make
do it.
Just one.
Do it.
Just one.
I love how frustrated fans are. Where just at first they're like, "Fuck Star Wars, no more Star Wars movies," and now they're just like, "Just give me a Star Wars movie. Just give me a movie. I just want a movie."
It's like the Tyrone Biggums. You got any of them Star Wars movies? I think here's the thing. Here's why I think it's frustrating to Star Wars fans. I could guess. Here's my frustration. It's not necessarily fuck Star Wars. It is that. My fuck Star Wars is more about Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams than what's happening now is where they announce directors who I would be interested in seeing what their take on the material would be, and then they just fucking vanish. And so that would be my frustration. So like Taika Waititi or Sean Levy or J.D. Dillard. These are folks who I would like to see what they would do with this universe, or even Ryan Johnson.
Hell yeah, Ryan Johnson. Yeah.
I want to see what he's able to do with his own material, right?
Me too.
Without having to deal with legacy characters, because regardless of what you thought of the plot of that film, it is still amazing. The best made one. Without being like, without taking into what he did with the characters, any of that, I still think that it's better made than The Force Awakens or The Rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I mean, of
So-
course I agree. Of course I agree.
So, yeah,
everyone
That's
knows
that's
that.
my frustration with Star Wars.
That's fair.
So we'll see. Yeah. What's up next? We got some. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Was that it? Were you done?
I'm done. Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, this does transition into Lucasfilm a bit. Studio Ghibli, they recently posted on their official Twitter accounts. It's just like a little 15-second video. It has Lucasfilm pop up, fade out, and then Ghibli pop up, and then fade out. This has me beyond excited, but I also want to temper my excitement because this could mean many things. It could mean Star Wars Visions. They have a segment that maybe seems like the most probable. It's also the least exciting to me, personally. Another option is they could be doing a Star Wars project. Could they be doing a whole animated Star Wars movie? Oh my God, I would shit myself. It would be so amazing. Maybe more exciting than that for me, it could just be maybe an original collaboration between Lucasfilm and Ghibli. Just like an original project. I think Lucasfilm is hard up for original projects. They literally have two franchises, Indiana Jones and Star Wars. And they haven't made Indiana Jones since, what,
Whoa,
2010?
Willow.
Oh, you're right. That's a good point. It's a good point. We can't hear you, Kyle, by the way.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say anime Willow. Ghibli's known for very fantasy-esque
You're
type
right.
things. So
Willow could be good. Yeah, you're right. So that could be another thing. So it could be original project. It could be Willow. I guess it could be Indiana Jones, but I don't want it to be Indiana Jones. But like I would be open for a Willow movie, like an animated Willow movie, or original movie that they develop alongside them. I think those are all really cool prospects. I don't know, Jonesy, do you have any desire or any thoughts about what this could be and what you would prefer it to be of the options that I've just laid out, or if you have another option?
The first thought that I have is I used to have a friend. We're not friends as of today anymore. I woke up, we had the Slack chat. He goes, "Hey, what is Studio Ghibli and why does this thing have 20,000 likes and shares?" I was like, "You're fucking with us, aren't you?" And keep in mind, this is the same friend who, up until maybe 3 or 4 years ago, didn't know that James Earl Jones was the voice of Darth Vader. But it's weird because, like, he's like, "Well, I don't really watch anime," but he does watch this other stuff. I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" Anyway, with this, I want it to be Star Wars. I want it to be an original Star Wars project. I can't imagine how much merch they would be able to sell if they had like a Totoro Wookiee. Just thinking about things like Spirited Away or Howl's Moving Castle, the way the characters move at speed. Imagine a Jedi running with a lightsaber, like in that style. I am, as someone who's been kind of down on Star Wars lately, that would be exciting for me. While I do think a Willow project or an original project would be great, I would love to see if this is like an ongoing collaboration.
Would you
Oh
be
God, wait!
disappointed if it was
I just had an awful idea. What I would hope not, but what if Lucasfilm is going to adapt a Ghibli project, like an existing one? What if Lucasfilm frickin' does Howls or something like that? Sounds atrocious. I don't know why you're getting excited. Neither Japan nor the West has been able to make a valid live action anime adaptation. I don't. And even though a lot of the Ghibli stories are adapted from novels, if they're involved, they're adapting the anime. So that scares the crap out of me.
I don't want this. No.
I'm going to pitch this. I'm pitching this. No. A live action Nausicaa Netflix series that adapts the manga.
Which one?
Nausicaa.
No.
Jonesy? No? Oh, come on. That would be cool. I just,
Listen,
fuck you guys.
No.
That would be cool. Don't get me wrong.
No.
I would prefer this project to be animated, like an animated thing that Ghibli does, but I wouldn't say no to a live action Nausicaa. Though I also wouldn't say no. What if it is a animated Netflix series adapting Nausicaa, and they needed
What
Lucasfilm
is it
who
with you
brought
and
in,
Nausicaa right now?
because that could be really cool, because you just brought up old projects. Nausicaa was never properly adapted. It was a movie that was completed before the manga was completed. The manga is way longer and it's more cohesive in my opinion. So if they can adapt that full story into a Netflix series, would be great.
Why would
And maybe
Lucasfilm make a Netflix series?
isn't Willow a Netflix series? Oh no, it's Disney Plus,
No,
isn't
that's
it?
all
A Disney
Disney.
Plus, a Disney Plus series, a Nausicaa Disney Plus series. Sorry.
I'm the sleepy one. I'm the sleepy.
No,
Like, what are you
have you look at
doing?
these? Look at these bags.
I have brain
Look at that.
damage and starting keto flu. So yeah.
Oh, shut up, Kyle.
What's your excuse?
What are you Netflix? What? Anyway,
More
yeah,
than one of us
no,
is allowed
give
to be
me-
sleepy at a time.
Listen,
I just had
this is what I
COVID.
want. Here's what I want. Man flu.
I like it was funny how literally I thought I was just overreacting, and I was like, oh no, I just got COVID. It was so bad.
Here's what I want. I want a 3-picture deal. I want one of them to be Star Wars. I want one to be an original story. And I forgot what the third one was.
Willow?
No, that would be cool. There was a third one. I don't remember what it was. But yeah. Yeah.
No, those are good ideas. Those are all like I agree. The more the better. And I feel like Ghibli is kind of hard up for, I'm saying hard up a lot now. Ghibli is hard up for like specific other work to do, because I know they've been working on video games and stuff, and I know Hayao Miyazaki is working on another movie, but who knows if that'll ever finish, because just the way he works and how slow and meditative he is. They need other projects. Lucasfilm could be a great partner to give them the resources they need, the money they need, and the properties, and frankly the cachet of the branding and stuff, to become even more mainstream than they already are. And I think
let me pitch a terrible future to you. All we got from this was logos, right?
Yeah.
What if it's a sale?
Ew. What do you mean?
Oh God.
Oh.
God.
Like Lucasfilm is buying Ghibli? It's funny. I thought you were just saying, what if all Indiana Jones and all Studio Ghibli DVDs are on sale? I was like, what?
They have Disney has expressed interest in getting into anime. They secured somehow they're streaming Chainsaw Man and Spy Family on Hulu while Crunchyroll is at the same time. That is a scary thought. I did have one other not so scary thought. Jonesy might have played this game, but I don't know if Lucasfilm owns the rights, but LucasArts made the game. What if they were getting Anime Monkey Island?
Ooh.
I like that.
That'd be fun.
That would be that's a unique out of left field idea, but I think it'd be pretty cool.
That would be a fun way to adapt a story that lots of people have played those games, but lots of people haven't played those games, if that makes sense. Underappreciated. I definitely remember playing the first one. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Good call.
That'd be fun.
Good idea. See, we have lots of good ideas. So much for, who was it who said it, like, oh, how are you going to be able to talk about something? There's only a 15-second video with 2 logos. Look what we just did.
No. That's not what it said.
I know.
You said,
It's
I don't have anything to say about John Wick. And I'm like, what? Watch a 2-minute trailer. Anyway, what else do we have to talk about? Do we have anything? Westworld. Westworld's been canceled. Is it shocking? Is it surprising? I don't know. I watched that last season. It was fine. It's funny. I'm looking at the Hollywood Reporter's article. HBO cancels Westworld in shock decision. I feel like we need to take a step back and remember what words mean. Westworld season 5 is not even in production. So it is not a shock to cancel a show before it even starts getting made. We're talking about the same folks that canceled a completed movie. So if you start from there, canceling a show isn't shocking, right? It didn't end on a cliffhanger.
And we're also talking about a show that had a precipitous fall in its second season in terms of popularity.
Yeah. You get rid of Anthony Hopkins, people are done. They're just like, out. I'm out. I'm out.
I
don't
must
have
admit,
anything else to-
I never understood the Westworld love. I watched the first season. I was just like, so it was fine.
I like it. I like it.
I didn't like it. I like the idea of it. I'm glad other people like it. I just never felt compelled to go back and watch more of it.
I, for one, I like Ramin Djawadi's music. I think that his covers are fantastic. So like when he did Cream, I thought that was great. He also did Painted Black. There are a few other songs that he did in like his style that were just amazing. I loved Maeve as a character. I thought some of the things that they did with what was going on with her was very interesting. I felt like the end of season 4, you could look at that and say like that is an ending. It's not the ending. It's an ending. So
Yeah, I'm just not shocked.
I'm not.
For me, it fell off the radar so hard after season 2 that I'm like, I'm surprised season 3 was made. I think I remember when the season 3 trailer came out, everyone's like, oh, they're doing more of it. Okay.
We're doing more.
By the way, Kyle,
Yeah.
this is a change of subject, but like I have the same shark that you have for your dog. That is all.
It's a good one. It's one of the only things that can survive the damn dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, the next season was supposed to be the last season. That's the only thing that I think is surprising about this, where they seem to have always been going towards 5 seasons. And I feel like I've definitely heard them say this already before. So it is surprising from that perspective. They're like, no, we just have one more season left. And they're like, nah. Given the people that are the creators of this, you got a Nolan involved and you got Lisa Joy involved. So I would think, just for the sake of having those two creators consistently involved with your studio, you wouldn't cancel it.
That's why it's a shock.
Well, but then I would also go back to, I think this is it is, for lack of a better term, a new studio. And we don't know what kind of content they want to make. I'm not even sure they know what kind of content they want to make. So from that perspective, it's not surprising. There's a lot going on there.
No, that's fair. Tis a good point.
Anyway, I think that's it. Are we at did you want to talk about anything else? We got the Indiana Jones thing. You don't want to talk about that, right?
No. Why would I want to do that?
Okay.
I'm curious, do you have any desire to talk about... Let's just do this really quickly, because I feel like it's at least worth mentioning. The recent rumor surrounding Andy Muschietti directing a Justice League 2. And this comes ahead of the whatever release of The Flash, whenever the hell that's actually going to be, which supposedly is a really good movie. You know, any controversies surrounding Ezra Miller aside.
Wait, what? And who says it's a good movie?
I've heard online from a lot of people from other outlets that have sources who have seen the movie.
Why, are you being serious?
Laughing. Yeah, I'm serious.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, like apparently the movie is really good. Like it's genuinely a good movie, which is one of the reasons why it's not canceled, even though it should by all means just be like, fuck it, write it off like we did Batgirl, considering all the controversy surrounding Ezra Miller. But yeah,
I don't think they should do that. I think I would be 100% more comfortable if they just recast the character. Because
I mean, but you'd have to spend so much money, like an extra $50 million just to reshoot every scene.
No.
Oh yeah, recast them going forward.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. But I mean, what do you do with this movie that's in the can?
You release it, of course.
But do you have a danger of people going like, I'm not gonna support an Ezra Miller joint or whatever?
Yes.
But that's the thing, is they're trying to mitigate it and trying to mitigate that whole problem.
Let me put it like this. I'll say it like this. And I think I might have said this before, so stop me if I'm repeating myself. I have no interest in seeing this movie because of Ezra Miller. He is the weakest fucking link in all of the cast of the Justice League.
But
I want to see this movie. I want to see this movie because of Ben Affleck. Yeah, sure. But I want to see this movie because of Ben Affleck.
Keaton.
I want to see it because of Michael Keaton. No, he's in it for no. I was just gonna list off the other folks.
All right, continue.
Everybody else in this movie, I am more interested in seeing than Ezra fucking Miller. And so I'm fairly certain I've said before, he is not a box office draw. He's not anything that he's not anything that makes me want to go see this movie. And so from that perspective, the least risky thing that they could do is recast this motherfucker.
I agree, but it's still risk to release the movie. I think that's the whole thing.
Sure.
My point is that the movie's apparently really good, so I can understand people going like, oh, Andy Muschietti could direct Justice League too. That could be cool. And this all kind of comes from the Geeks Worldwide person, Casey Walsh, saying that Justice League 2 with Andy Muschietti directing. It's also a clip from Jason Momoa talking about the most exciting news ever came out, and people thinking, oh, is it Zack Snyder? Is it Justice League? I think he's since come out and said like, oh no, it's bigger than that, which I think has to do with his own personal life and career, but that doesn't necessarily take away from any potential rumors surrounding Justice League 2 with Andy Muschietti, which I think could be a good move, assuming that the Flash movie is really good.
I really liked the first It. My problems with the second It didn't have anything to do with the directing. So from that perspective, I am interested in seeing this.
Yeah, the movie has
selfishly
problems, but it's still entertaining to watch, even though it has lots of problems. The second movie.
Yeah. Selfishly, I hope they bring back Ray Fisher. Again,
God,
it's a new studio.
when I was COVIDing on the couch, I was like, fuck it, I have 4 hours. I threw up Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League. That movie slaps, and Ray Fisher is so good. Yep.
I can only hope that The Rock fought just as hard for Ray Fisher as he did Henry Cavill. I know that didn't happen.
What do you mean you know?
But it would be nice.
That he didn't fight for Henry Cavill?
I hope that The Rock fought as hard for Ray Fisher as he did Henry Cavill.
No. Yeah. I thought you say that he would fight for him as much. I hope so too. That'd be awesome. But I mean, unfortunately, I feel like The Rock is... I love The Rock, but I'm sure it's a situation where it's like, what can this person do for me? Henry Cavill can elevate The Rock's profile. I don't think Ray Fisher can, unfortunately. So
I agree.
It is what it is. But yeah, I'd be on board with
it is a depressing show.
Anything going forward. I like him as a director. He seems like a great guy, and he doesn't afraid of anybody. So let's move on from here. I'm done.
Listen, that great guy thing, I'm gonna need you to let that go.
I don't know what that means.
I was half joking. I just think folks in Hollywood, we don't really know them.
Oh, we don't really know if they are. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I would say he's a great filmmaker.
Okay. You know who's a great guy? Joss Whedon.
Okay, such a great guy. Such a cool guy.
On that note,
writes great women.
Yeah,
shut it down. So I will say, I will, in my defense of my stupid defense of Joss Whedon, is that I don't like this idea where you can't be a cheating douchebag and a feminist at the same time. I feel like those are not mutually exclusive things. But anyways, that's unrelated to all the other controversy. But just want to throw that out there.
I feel like we're gonna cancel Jammer.
Okay. Why?
If you like what you heard, with the exception of that last little bit, do all the things, like, rate, comment, subscribe, share. We would definitely appreciate it. Also, LRM Online has other great content. Where else? LRM Online and the Genreverse Podcast Network. Jam, where can be found?
You can find me on Twitter at Jam the Writer. Most of my books under the name AJ Cerno on Amazon and Audible. You can find also City of Mages at magiabooks.com. That's MAGIA books.com. It's also available in paperback, ebook, hardcover, audiobook. Get your fix.
All right. And you could find me everywhere under the name Sir Jonesius. Tweeting, Instagramming, TikToking. I've caved. I'm one of the children now.
Me too. Oh yeah, I'm on
Got it,
TikTok too.
got it,
AJ
got it,
Sterner
TikTok.
writer. I just started TikToking.
Yeah, I'd be twitching. Not with any kind of regularity for this stuff. It's just cause. So find me there if you're interested. Just got a chance to play God of War and the new Call of Duty. If you're interested in seeing that stuff, I posted some of that stuff to the Discord. So if anybody's interested in watching any of that, especially like the first hour of the new God of War, it's fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm liking it. Anyway, thanks to Kyle for producing on the ones and twos.
You're welcome.
This fun show, and we will catch you on the next one. Hasta lasagna.
Mission accomplished.